We got some really cool merch from the conference, and I just want to show you guys. Hey guys, so today I'm going to a UI conference. This is actually technically my first tech conference. I went to this Microsoft conference before, but it just felt like they were trying to sell me things and not teach me any things. So I'm saying that this is my first tech conference. I have to take the metro because it's in Crystal City and I'm not driving all the way over there at 7 in the morning. So yeah, I'm going to try to vlog the whole thing, but it says you can't record sessions. I'll try to figure out how to do that discreetly. I mean, not the whole thing, but you know, something to at least put in the video. Yeah, it's called An Event Apart. This is the DC show, I guess. Yeah, so anyways, I'm gonna hit the metro. Okay, so I made it. Had to figure out how to ride the bus. Made me a little nervous, not gonna lie. Almost missed my stop, but shout out to the girl that knew how to ride the bus, and she got us to the stop. Sweet breakfast. My friend Patrick is here somewhere, but he went to go get silverware or something, and I forgot mine, so I think I'm gonna take his. Me and Patrick have decided that instead of swag bags, because swag is lame and nobody says that anymore, we're gonna call these clout bags. So yeah. Okay, we made it. I found Patrick, and it's time for the first session. No, I don't have my makeup on yet. Leave me alone. All right, so I am back from the conference. An Event Apart is actually a 3A conference, but a lot of people at my company were interested to go, so we all had to pick one day to go. So I picked today because the sessions on today seemed really interesting to me. So the first session I went to was called Animation Accessible. I don't remember the exact name, but it was about making animations accessible, and overall making sure that you aren't making people sick with your animations. Something I didn't know that the speaker mentioned was that when iOS 7 came out and we changed from just, I don't even know what it was before, how transition in between clicking on the app and the app opening. I don't even remember what it looked like before then. I didn't even have an iPhone back then. But how when they changed the rate at which the app expanded, that bothered people. It made some people sick. It gave them motion sickness basically, which is crazy to me. But when you see it and you see an hour-long talk about it, it kind of makes a little more sense. So the first session was about things like that, making sure that the text and the graphics on your page aren't moving too rapidly or too crazy. How to fix it if it is on the back end, giving users a choice, oh, do you want the animations, do you not? But then also just in general, thinking of ways to make them as accessible as possible without turning everything off. Because, everybody wants to be able to enjoy the same thing, but sometimes it's just not possible. You have to provide alternatives. You don't want the alternative to be just super different from the regular version. The next session I went to was about SVG filters, and I'm gonna just be 100% honest. I never used an SVG before today. I mean, I guess I didn't even use it today. I just learned about it and how to use filters. The talk was given by this lady that if you Google SVG filters, she will be the first person to pop up. She was from Lebanon. I don't remember her name. She's a freelance web developer, very well known across the internet. 100% advise you to go check her out. She gave a really great talk and was basically showing that we can use SVG filters for a lot of the things that you would go into Photoshop to use. And the difference between, uploading the photo and with all the edits and using these SVG filters is that you can edit the SVG filters in real time, right? You want to change it at any point, you can do that. Versus the photo, you have to go into Photoshop, change it all again, and upload it. Now, I must admit, it did seem like the Photoshop was way faster. But as a software developer, I definitely see the appeal of the SVG and why it'd be important to know. And it was just really, really cool. I really wish that I could show you guys the slides or even like the video from it, but they told us not to, and I don't want to get sued. So another session I went to was about innovations with animation, and this session was just about ways that you can use animation that we typically don't think of, such as, or even assume that we just can't do, such as when a person leaves a page. You know, of course, when you click a button to leave a page, it does it immediately, so why would you add an animation? There are ways where you can still show the animation and then, you know, allow the user to go to the page next. Another thing in this session that was about innovative animation was kind of like integrating AR into our environments, just because our web pages typically are still so flat. Like, we are still doing these single page applications, even though everything around us is kind of changing and, you know, adopting these AR and VR qualities. So she was saying that we should try to innovate our web pages and transitions and animations and blah blah to make it more conducive to like the future. Like right now we're still looking at flat websites, but why when we have the power to, you know, do AR? All right, another session that I went to was called What is Design Ops and Why Should I Care? And I had not a good idea of what design ops was. I mean, design operations, right? I can get that much from it. But he really just talked about the best ways to flow with your design team, and that there's just not one way to do design ops or DevOps in general, but specifically design ops. And what works for one company won't work for another company. Like he gave an example of how one company had a design team when they first started out, and then, you know, they just had the other teams, and anytime you needed, the team had a design, they would take it to the team, they review, you know, go back and forth. Of course, as the company grew, there was just way too many meetings going on, it just wasn't working. So what they did was they got rid of the design team, and they put all the designers that were originally on the design team into the regular teams. And that way you can just have all these meetings at once. It'll cut down on the amount of back and forth you have because you're all working together as you create the product, rather than, you know, the back and forth before, okay, we built this, and then you go back because you found something that's wrong, blah, blah, blah. And I just thought that was a really good idea, just a really good way to do things. So I thought that was really interesting. He also had an interesting idea on continuous integration and continuous development, or CIDC as most people call it. And he said that it really wasn't good because it makes design the bottleneck or the lowest priority, which I can really agree with, because when you do CIDC, you're really just trying to like crank out every new feature, every enhancement, every bug, and anything that doesn't seem to be immediate, anything that's not new, anything that's not groundbreaking is getting pushed to the backlog, and we'll handle it another day, right? So a way to fight that, I guess, is to use true design ops. So the last session I went to was called Data Basics, and I was excited for this one because it was given by a woman who is a designer at Google, and of course every CS person's dream is to work for Google. And she also had a lot more accolades. Like, she went to MIT, she had a mechanical engineering degree, she had worked for Apple before, she had helped build 2 design teams at some other companies. So I mean, this lady knew what she was talking about. And her session was really just about how to gather data and using it correctly, and that maybe the way that we have been trying to access data really doesn't help us at all. So the thing she was talking about was page views and clicks. So if a person looks at a web page, then that's a page view, and if they click on something, that's a click. And if you track those, you might get something important, but at the same time, users are gonna do a lot more than just, you know, view and click. If you have other things going on your website, it might be better for you to track, I don't know, if they fill out this form, or anytime an event happens, which that would make me a little nervous with the amount of events that happen on the website that I work on, but you know your website best. So just using the correct trackers, I guess, for your metrics is kind of what she was focusing on. And then once you have all that data, how do you analyze it? Boom. That's what I was looking for. How do you analyze the data once you have it all? And once it's analyzed, how do you determine if it was helpful? And once it's helpful, how do you distribute it to those, that aren't on the data team, or that aren't working directly on the projects, the higher ups in the company, the partners, the people who aren't as technical but really need to know this information. So overall, I'd say it was a really good conference. For the one day that I did get to go to, I really wish I got to go to all 3 days, but hey, it be like that sometimes, and it's not like I was gonna pay for this on my own. So shout out to my company for paying for that. I think one thing that I really liked about this conference was the amount of women that were speakers at the conference. Something really cool. They gave us these. Let me just give every conference person a word of advice. Please stop calling it swag. It's 2019, almost 2020. Nobody says swag anymore. The cool kids don't call things swag. If anything, you'd be better off calling it merch. It's merch. It's merch. It's not swag. I'm so sorry. But anyways, we got some really cool merch from the conference. And I just want to show you guys. So it came with this little card in it, and it says, "We have a great conference lined up for you, and we thank you for being a part of it. As a token of our thanks, we offer the accompanying redacted. For the first time in AEA history, our redacted is fully responsive. Regardless of situation, each item delivers satisfying content." Redacted is swag, in case you didn't put that together. So the things that they gave us are super cute and they're responsive. So they gave us a reusable plastic straw, and it comes with the cleaner, and that is next level, my friends. They also gave us this reusable water bottle that is foldable. So that makes it responsive. Let me open it up. You see you have a little thing there to roll it back up. Boom, you unroll it, open it. It's gonna expand for you. Obviously, you put the water in there as well. And then you can just roll it back up. Roll it back up, cap it, boom, and good to go. Super easy, super simple, and super useful. All right, brace yourself for this last one because it's a doozy. So I know, a flashlight. Doesn't look like much, but watch this. There's still more to go. Oh, all right, so when I untwist this, oh, what is that? That's weird. Whoa, check that out. And you can bend it. So, you got some hard to reach crevices and drops and things like that. Boom, you are set. This is super cool and so useful and so necessary. This is probably the best conference merch I've ever gotten. So yeah, overall it was a really nice experience. It was really, I'm not gonna say it was fun. It was a really good experience. It was really enlightening. It was I will even say it was inspiring because almost everybody that got on that stage was a very important person. They'd all written books, they all really knew what they were talking about. They were very knowledgeable, so it was definitely a great experience. If you have the chance to attend conferences and things through your company, or if you can even pay for yourself to go, I 100% recommend it. I'm also going to Grace Hopper in the fall, so I will be vlogging that. It'll be a better vlog type thing besides this because it was just all in one room, so it'd be kind of awkward, oh no, I'm just taking a random Instagram video, but I'm doing it every single time someone gets on stage, and I don't want to get kicked out or get in trouble or anything. So I just didn't record anything that was inside the talk venue, the speech venue, the ballroom where the talks were being given. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful to you. If you have any questions, be sure to leave them down in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.